The Galactic test. The Galactic Council chamber floated above a gas giant, suspended in orbit, shining with blue and gold. Inside, hundreds of alien species gathered in a grand circle. Their eyes, sensors, and scanners were all focused on a giant hologram in the middle of the room. On the screen, a human-built railgun platform was about to fire. The council members were amused. A slug thrower? Really? Chuckled High Regent Cathal of the Yolvani. His race used energy weapons powered by stars. Humans still cling to metal and magnets. Another alien mocked. Next, they'll bring sticks and stones. Even the usually calm Admiral Rowe of the Solari Alliance allowed himself a small grin. Let's see their toy gun. But one figure in the back didn't smile. Dr. Kether of the Zal species, an old war strategist, leaned forward in silence. His 4 hands gripped the arms of his chair. He knew humans. He had studied them. On the screen, the railgun locked onto a dead asteroid, drifting 600,000 kilometers away. A countdown began. 3, 2, 1. There was no flash, no boom, just silence. Then, a second later, the asteroid cracked apart, split cleanly down the middle. A giant shockwave spread out in space like a ripple in a still lake. The room fell silent for a moment. Then the laughter returned. That's it? Said a council member from the Grawl Dominion. A rock got split. Big deal. They wasted resources to throw a metal rod, sneered a traitor from the Zeraxi Empire. But Kether wasn't laughing. He was watching the data on the side of the screen. The asteroid had no defensive systems, no shields. Yet the railgun had pierced it perfectly at near light speed. More interesting was this. The shot took only 0.4 seconds to reach its target. No energy signal was detected. No warning system was triggered. It was a ghost attack. Kether leaned toward his comm and sent a private message to the Council military advisors. Do not ignore this. Humans don't do show-offs. If they fired this in a battle, the target would be gone before it even knew it was being aimed at. The reply he got was short. Acknowledged. But Earth is still a Tier 4 civilization. There, decades behind. That was the official statement. The real message? No one takes humans seriously. Back in the chamber, the Council moved to the next item on the agenda. Trade disputes. Border conflicts. Black market AI sales. Kether couldn't stop thinking. He knew humans didn't care about impressing aliens. He had seen ancient Earth war records. Wars that humans fought with everything, even their last breath. Even when outnumbered. Even when already defeated. They didn't fight to win. They fought to end the threat. And now, they had railguns that moved faster than defense systems could think. Earth made no statement to the Council. No threat. No pride. Just a quiet test. That silence was what scared Kether the most. Asterisk underestimating. Fire. The Grawl Dominion had never lost a border war. Their ships were thick, brutal, and packed with firepower. Their commanders were raised on stories of victory. So when their scouts reported that a human colony ship had entered the neutral zone near Sector R91, they didn't wait. Admiral Vorak, scarred and proud, stood on the deck of the Bloodfang, the largest destroyer in the sector. Humans crossed the line, he growled. We will teach them fear. His officers cheered. 5 Grawl warships moved toward the human colony ship like wolves chasing a lamb. The human ship didn't run. It didn't speak. It just hovered. That made Velrak laugh harder. They're frozen. They know what's coming. But far above, hiding, in low orbit behind a moon, a human satellite locked on. It wasn't shiny. It didn't glow. It didn't hum with energy. It was silent. And it had one job, to fire once without missing. Inside, a railgun slug waited. It was a cylinder of metal, no larger than a chair, but dense enough to punch through steel like paper. It launched. No sound. No flash. Just physics. On the Bloodfang, alarm screamed. Object incoming. Too fast. No lock. No signature. Before anyone could move, the slug tore through the bridge. It entered through the roof, exited through the engine, and kept flying. Vorak never even saw it. The Bloodfang split in half, drifting in fire and silence. The other Grawl ships panicked. Some turned. Some fired randomly. One tried to raise shields. Another railgun shot came. Then another. 3 ships gone. One survivor limped away, leaving debris and screams behind. The human colony ship still didn't speak. It slowly turned and entered safe space, undamaged. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council. News spread fast. An ambush, claimed the Grawl ambassador. Cowardly. A lucky hit, said a Ziraxi trader. Maybe 2. But Dr. Cuther stood again, calm and firm. Railgun hits. 0 wasted shots. From orbital platforms invisible to our scans. That is not luck. That is precision. They used no shields. No energy signals, he continued. The Grawl didn't even know they were in danger until it was too late. The room grew quiet. Still, many shook their heads. They're still. Tier 4. They don't even have quantum fleets. They've built a few snipers. So what? Cather's eyes darkened. They don't need fleets, he said softly. They only need silence. And time. Outside the council, however, whispers had begun. Commanders started requesting new countermeasures against kinetic strikes. Black markets saw a rise in human tech imports. And in hidden corners of the galaxy, warlords started asking dangerous questions. How many of these railguns does Earth have? And ... What if they're not done building them? Eyes on Earth. Earth said nothing. After the Grawl ships were destroyed, no human leader made a speech. No ambassador sent warnings. No celebration echoed through the stars. The galaxy had questions, but Earth remained silent. That silence made the powerful nervous dot in a dark corner of the Andex belt. A small meeting was held. 10 military leaders from different empires sat in a sealed black room aboard a stealth cruiser. Each one wore a translator, a mask, and suspicion. They've created a weapon that can't be tracked, whispered one. No heat, no energy signal. It moves too fast for scanners. It's like a ghost. Another added, we can't defend against something we can't see. That's not just dangerous, it's a game changer. The decision was made. Send eyes to Earth. Watch them. Study them. Before it's too late. The watch begins across the solar system. Unknown satellites began to appear, disguised as meteors, as lost tech, as mining equipment. They were spy probes from the Ziraxi, the Velthari, the Iran Pact, each with one mission: observe Earth's military assets. But Earth's skies were quiet. No grand fleets, no glowing shipyards, just regular traffic cargo. Ships, colony transports, research vessels. It made the aliens believe Earth was bluffing. But then, the probes began to vanish, one by one. Without warning, without explosion. Just gone. Each time, the probe's last message was the same: target locked. Rail static. Dr. Kether notices a pattern back in the Galactic Council. Dr. Kether reviewed the probe lost data. He didn't smile. He didn't panic. He simply stared at the pattern on the screen. All probes were destroyed in under 1 second. No visible weapon was detected. No sound. No light. No response from Earth. He whispered to himself. They've upgraded. These aren't just railguns. These are orbital hunters. He walked straight into the council chamber, interrupting a heated debate about mineral rights on Zethar 5. Demand a security review of all stealth activity around Earth. We are provoking a silent weapon that responds with absolute precision. Every time. But again, his words were met with prideful sneers. Earth isn't a threat, said one ambassador. They're just testing limits. Let them. They're quiet because they're afraid, said another. We should show them. Who truly rules the stars? Dr. Kether paused. He looked across the room. No, he said quietly. They are quiet because they're finished preparing. Somewhere on Earth. In a deep facility beneath Antarctica, hidden under layers of ice and signal jamming, Commander Ria Delgado stared at a screen showing a map of the solar system. Red dots marked destroyed probes. She gave one command. No message. No threat. Just precision. Keep them guessing. Above her, another railgun satellite came online. Its barrel was cold, its aim already calculated, and its silence? Terrifying. Asterisk, the first invasion. They thought humans were bluffing Dot, so the Zeraxi Empire decided to test Earth the hard way. They didn't send diplomats. They sent a fleet, 12 capital ships, over 8,000 soldiers, 3 command dreadnoughts, and a swarm of drones meant to overwhelm any planetary defense. Their goal was not war. It was demonstration. They wanted to show Earth that the galaxy was watching. And Laughing Dot Admiral Vorax, known as the Sun Piercer, stood on the bridge of the ZX Tyrant. He stared at Earth from orbit. A pale planet, he smirked. Let's leave a scar. He ordered troops to land not on Earth, but on Mars. Where humans had built growing cities. They expected surrender. Instead, they met silence. The silence that killed the Zeraxi troops landed in 5 zones. Their armored suits stomped through. Red dust. Towers were scanned. Doors broken. Civilians ordered to kneel. But no human responded. The cities were empty. Then, one Zeraxi unit received a signal. Just 2 words in old Earth English. Look up. The soldier turned, and the sky exploded. The orbital killers wake high above. 8 railgun satellites had locked on. Each had waited, cold and quiet, hiding behind Mars' small moons. The moment they confirmed a military presence, they activated. No alarms. No warnings. Just motion. The first slug hit the Zeraxi command center. One moment it stood tall. The next, it was a crater 600 meters wide. Slugs followed one. After another falling faster than light could reflect. Ships in orbit tried to flee. But they had no defense against something that didn't emit heat or light. The ZX Tyrant was hit at the base. The explosion didn't go out. It went inward. The ship collapsed into itself like crushed paper. No screens reached the galaxy. Across the galaxy. Chaos. The Zeraxi Empire broadcast a distress signal, but it arrived 12 minutes too late. By then, the entire Mars invasion force had been erased, not defeated, not repelled. Erased. The Galactic Council's emergency chamber was flooded with static-laced reports. Zeraxi fleet gone. Energy reading, none. Human response, no message. Panic spread like wildfire. Warlords demanded explanations. Empires demanded revenge. One ambassador stood shaking in the chamber. Who uses weapons they never show? Dr. Kether stood slowly and whispered. Predators. Back on Earth inside, Earth's deep command vault. Commander Delgado looked over the tactical display. Every red marker neutralized. Her aide turned to her, eyes wide. Zeraxi command is completely destroyed. No survivors. Delgado nodded. Did we send a warning? No. Good. She turned off the screen and walked away. Let them explain this to their council. Outside, in Earth's orbit, railgun platforms re-entered stealth mode. Cold, silent, and now legendary. Asterisk. The silence ends for weeks. The galaxy said nothing. No one dared to approach Earth. No one dared to speak its name out loud in war rooms. But behind closed doors, empires whispered in fear. The Ziraxi Empire was silent, its leadership buried. In ashes, Mars was untouched. But thousands of elite Ziraxi soldiers were now just names on a lost signal. And still, Earth had said nothing. Until now. One morning, every major empire in the galaxy received a message. Not a transmission, not a broadcast. It was delivered in person. A single small drone ship, no weapons, no defenses, entered the airspace of each empires. Capital. No one could detect its origin. No one could shoot it down. Each drone stopped just outside the main planetary gate and opened a compartment. Inside, a message. 10 simple words. We are not aiming to conquer. We are aiming to erase. The Council's fear becomes real in the Galactic Council chamber. The message hit like a lightning strike. Some wanted to retaliate. Others wanted peace. But no one knew what Earth truly wanted. Dr. Kether stood alone by the central sphere, watching the chaos around him. He whispered, Now, They speak. High Warlord Kraven of the Iric Empire slammed his fist on the table. We must strike Earth before it's too late. But where? Another snapped. We can't track their weapons. We don't even know how many they have. A third voice asked, What if they've built hundreds? Thousands? What if every moon they touch becomes a barrel pointed at us? The council fell silent. Then came the final blow. An encrypted feed appeared in the center of the chamber, untraceable, undeniable. A live view. Of the edge of the Ziraxi Nebula. 13 Ziraxi military moons. All in perfect orbit. Then railgun. Shots. 13 precision strikes. Each moon cracked in half, like fruit under a blade. No screens. No defenses. The feed ended. Another message appeared. This is only the beginning. Keep pushing, and you will see what comes next. Panic across the stars within hours. Border defenses across the galaxy shifted. Entire fleets were recalled. Weapons once aimed at rival empires were now turned toward empty space, just in case. Earth's slugs came flying through it. Some leaders demanded peace. Others demanded surrender. A few simply vanished, likely gone into hiding, hoping Earth never noticed them. In a single day, Earth had ended the illusion of safety. And back on Earth. Commander Ria Delgado stared at the council feed from her command chair. The council's screams of panic echoed through the room. She didn't flinch. Her voice was calm. Do we have to destroy the next target? The AI next to her responded. Only if provoked. She nodded. Then wait. Earth's skies were clear. There were no warships flying. No bombers preparing for battle. Only silence. But now the galaxy knew that silence was not weakness. It was the sound of the storm before it hits. Burning skies. No. Official war had been declared. No flags were raised. But the galaxy was already at war. With fear. The skies above countless worlds now shimmered with defense grids, emergency shields, and interceptor drones. Entire empires, once proud and powerful, were acting like prey, and all because of one silent planet. Earth. They hadn't invaded anyone. They hadn't taken territory. They hadn't spoken again. But every general knew. They could strike at any time, and no one would see it coming. The Iric Gamble, the Iric Empire, a brutal warrior species, decided to make the first move. They refused to live in fear. Their leader, High Warlord Kraven, wanted to burn Earth before. Earth burned them. He launched Operation Star Cleaver, a preemptive full-scale assault meant to overwhelm Earth's system before its railguns could activate. 3 fleets, 97 ships, 50,000 troops. They jumped into the soul system with precision. They didn't know. Earth had been expecting them. Death comes without warning as the Eric ships reach the outer edge of the solar system. Something strange happened. One of their lead ships simply vanished. No warning. No impact. Just gone. A second later, another. Ship exploded, its hull pierced from behind. Panic spread. Where are the weapons? No energy readings. We're being hit, but from where? One Eric commander screamed, "This isn't a battlefield, it's a death zone." A drone feed from the surviving ship caught a single image. A railgun platform hidden in the shadow of Saturn, firing once every 6.2 seconds. Each shot. A death sentence. Commander Delgado watches the flames. Back on Earth, inside Deep Command. Commander Delgado stood before a massive screen. It displayed the Eric fleet. Dots turned red one. After another dot, her officers stood silent. No celebration. No excitement. Just quiet, professional execution. Do we send a response? Her aide asked. Delgado shook her head. Our railguns are the response. And then she gave one new command. Activate Skyfire Protocol. The true power unleashed at that moment. 12 dormant platforms hidden across Mercury, Titan, and Earth's own moon awoke. Not just railguns, but orbital kinetic arrays, massive cannons capable of launching slugs the size of trucks, guided by AI prediction algorithms. Each one fired a slug toward a different Eric capital facility across the galaxy. Each slug traveled faster than any defense system could react to. Each one hit galactic news feeds, screamed, Eric fleet command destroyed. Planetary shield failed to intercept, city gone. 10 million dead in under 2 minutes. And still Earth said nothing. No speech. No victory chant. Just skies that burned. And then went silent again. Dr. Kether's final warning back. At the council, chaos consumed the chamber. Dr. Kether stood one final time, his voice calm, cold. You mocked their silence. You laughed at their weapons. You pushed them. Now you realize Earth never wanted war. They only wanted to be left alone. You didn't listen. He turned away as alarms rang across the chamber and whispered to no one in particular. Now you burn. The last broadcast across the galaxy. The stars were quieter. Not peaceful, just afraid. Empires that once dominated trade routes were now shadows of themselves. Planetary shields stayed up day and night. Ships refused to leave orbit. Military academies stopped training for conquest and started teaching survival. And all because of one name, Earth. Earth hadn't spoken again. No demands. No treaties. No ultimatums. Just silence. And then one day it came. The final broadcast. The feed begins. It wasn't hacked. It wasn't forced. It simply appeared. On every galactic network. Across every frequency. At once, black screen. White text. To those who survived? A moment passed. Then came the image not of war, but of Earth itself. Blue. Calm. Spinning slowly in space. Then a voice. Female. Human. Steady. Commander. Ria Delgado. Earth speaks. You laughed at our weapons. You dismissed our warnings. You thought our silence meant weakness. Now, look at your skies. The screen shifted. It showed the burning wreckage of Eric warships floating in space. Then Zeraxi command moons, broken and drifting. Like shattered glass. Then the council chamber, a crater, still glowing. Delgado's voice returned. We were never interested in conquering your worlds. We asked for peace. You answered with threats. We warned you once. You refused to listen. This is our final message. Leave Earth alone, or we will end everything. The camera pulls back. The screen faded to black. Then came the last image. Satellite view of Earth's solar system. Hundreds of objects circled the sun. Not ships. Railgun platforms. Each one cold. Silent. Motionless. but aimed not just at the borders of Sol, but beyond. Every weapon was already targeted, every shot already calculated, every possible future already accounted for. And every empire knew if they made one move, they wouldn't even get the chance to say sorry. A new galactic law within. Weeks, new treaties were signed. The Galactic Council rebuilt in exile, declared Earth a sovereign, untouchable zone. Anyone who crossed into human space did so at their own risk. Merchants called Earth the quiet sun. Pirates called it a graveyard. Children were taught Earth's history as a warning. Never push a silent species. You don't know what they're hiding. Back on Earth, Commander Delgado walked along a glass corridor in orbit, Earth floating behind her. She watched as railgun platforms slowly shut down, entering sleep mode. One by one, like wolves curling back into the dark. Her aide asked softly, "Do you think they'll come back?" Delgado paused. Then said, "Only if they forget what silence sounds like." The screen faded to black. One final word appeared. Humanity. The galaxy's last mistake.